What's up, guys? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Tyler Perry's Sistas. This is season 6, episode 11, and the episode is titled No Turning Back. Y'all, I didn't even realize that we are already to the mid-season finale. Like, how did I not know that? I completely forgot that Tyler loves to split the season in half. So let's get right into this review. So we start off with Danny at her apartment. And Preston comes out of the room wearing her work uniform. Y'all, how is he supposedly still high when this was hours ago? Like, he hit her vape, I promise you, a solid 6 hours ago. Why is he still high? I could have done without this entire scene. Tyler, don't waste our time like this no more. Out of nowhere, you have Preston calling Zach, and he just talking about a bunch of nothing. Danny has to snatch the phone from him and tell Zach to come over and help him with Preston. Help her with Preston. Girl, Preston needs to go back, get back into bed, and try to start over again, okay? We just gonna slide our asses on to the next scene, y'all. So we get to, what's his name? Maurice. We get to Maurice and Calvin. And Calvin comes home or whatever. And Maurice, you can tell there's something off about him, okay? He's not his same boisterous self. So Calvin is like, no, what's going on with you? Because usually, it's the diva, it's all of this and that. And Maurice is like, well, I confessed. And Calvin like, you confess what? So he's like, I confessed that it was me and Q who did all of this, and Sabrina had nothing to do with it. So, of course, Calvin is like, dude, are you crazy? Why would you confess to something that, number one, you didn't do? Number two, you know that this was all Q's idea, and you should have talked to a lawyer before you decide to take your happy-go-lucky ass down to the DA's office to go blab about how you did something that, honestly, yes, you may have brought Q into your life, but come on now. Q is the mastermind behind all of this. Him and his little homies that he had. But for Maurice, he feels like this was the only way to make things right because Sabrina doesn't deserve this. And this way, Sabrina can get back to going to work, her job. I need for us to let that dream go. Sabrina is not working at the bank anymore. Okay? Even if she, is found not guilty, I feel like this is her time to pivot and transition into a whole new career. So what does Calvin do? He calls Sabrina, lets her know everything that Maurice has done, and she's on the phone frantic like, oh my God, why would he do that? He shouldn't have done it. I'm going to come over to y'all house. So Maurice, he just feels like, listen, I've already gone to the DA. I can't take it back. It's already done. It is what it is. But Calvin, he's like, no, I'm about to move some shit around in my schedule. Like, you ain't about to go down like this. I'm just like, is he not, though? Because I don't know too many people who can confess to the DA's office and then be like, my bad, y'all. I was lying. I didn't mean to come down here and say all this. I don't know if that's really a possibility. I mean, maybe in Tyler Perry land, but in the real world, I don't think that's how that works. So, next thing you know, we move on to Sabrina. Now, baby girl look like she is dressed to the nines while she's sitting in this car. And I'm like, well, where's she going? Because, again, Sabrina ain't got no job. So, where's she going with this outfit on? But nonetheless, she basically calls Danny to tell her how she's not going to be able to make it to Karen's house. Because remember, last night she had the bright idea that Danny and herself should go check on Karen. Girl, that was a dumb idea to begin with. So thank God y'all not going to go see Karen. So both ladies actually give a little update on what's going on in their life. Because Danny is like, Preston has lost his mind. So that's why I'm stuck here trying to deal with him. And then Sabrina, she's like, well, Maurice, he actually went to the DA's office and confessed that he did all of this, even though we all know that it was Q. So Danny is like, well, listen, girl, if Maurice wants to do the time for you, let him do it. Because why should you sit behind bars when technically you had nothing to do with this? And Maurice is the person who brought Q into y'all life. Now, of course, we all know that Sabrina, she loves Maurice, and she doesn't want him to go to jail, especially behind something that he did not do. Him going down there to falsely admit that he had any involvement with this whole situation, it is pretty bad, because nobody wants to see their friend go to jail. You know what I'm saying? Especially when he didn't commit the crime. So the ladies get off the phone, and next thing you know, there is a knock at Danny's door. I'm like, well, damn. Zach surely got there very quick. Zach comes through. He has on this blue suit. And I'm just like, Zach, where the hell are you going? You, sir, have no job. You have nothing that requires you to wear a suit. Why are you wearing this? Where are you going? But nonetheless, he comes over to see what's going on with Preston. And of course, he sees Preston wearing Danny's work outfit. And basically, this whole scene, again, pointless, but we gonna rock with it. So Zach basically tells Preston to take Danny's outfit off, go put some clothes on, and that they're going to make him some coffee. I'm just like, Danny, you could have did the same thing without Zach even being involved. But that's not what you did. Okay. So Danny is like, I don't even know how we got to this point. I just gave him a little bit of my weed. And she also mentions how, oh, I've never seen anybody act like this. Oh, wait, except for you, when I gave you some of my weed. And I'm just like, well, girl, what is your weed laced with? Because I completely forgot that time that she gave Zach some of her weed or whatever. And wasn't that when he was trying to, like, come on to her or something like that? Didn't that happen? Nonetheless, I just feel like whatever Danny is smoking, I'm like, is it laced with something? Is it laced with X? Girl, what is your weed laced with? And how is this man still high all these hours later? It don't make no damn sense. So Zach is like, listen, I don't have time for any of this foolishness. He's trying to get away from this conversation. However, Danny's like, no, I need you. I need you. Next thing you know, he ends up getting Preston out of the bathroom. Preston's clothes are on backwards. I'm just like, I need for us to wrap this up. Then, out of nowhere, as he's asking Preston if he's good, Preston's like, yeah, I'm good, my nigga. I said, whoa, wait a minute. Preston's half black in real life, not on the show. But the crazy part is that Zach asks him again, like, what'd you say? And he repeats it. Then you have Zach acting like he's going to fight Preston. Preston turns around and get into a fighting position. I said, you know what? I can't. I just cannot. I need for us to wrap this scene all the way up. And we don't need to see Danny or Preston for the rest of this episode, okay? Because honestly, it wasn't funny. Because in the grand scheme of things, like, why is your white man feeling comfortable enough to say the N-word? Also, who's saying this word around him? Like, what's going on here? So, yeah. This is a hot mess. So, Zach finally leaves or whatever. And Danny is there with Preston. She gotta go get ready for work or whatever. And she's like, just sit here. I gotta go. So, he's over here just talking trash. First, he was talking about the movie King Kong. And then basically, he said something along the lines of, you heard me? Yeah, bitch, you better have heard me, or something like that. And I'm just like, whoa. I don't even understand how we got here, honestly. Because I know that we're running with this idea that Preston, he smoked this weed. But I'm just like, we would not see this drastic of a personality change. Tyler, please stop. So now we move back over to Calvin and Maurice. Calvin has changed his outfit, and Maurice is like, how long we gonna be doing this? Because I'm over it. Next thing you know, Sabrina comes through. Now, this is probably the best we have seen Sabrina look, y'all. Let's be honest. Her outfits are always questionable, but she killing it in this little two-piece. Did she get that from Andy's closet? Because I can't really see this being in her closet besides the fact that it's a bright color. Nonetheless, Sabrina basically comes over so that way she could question Maurice on why he did this. He should have let the lawyers handle it. All this stuff. And according to Maurice, this is basically something that he had to do because he feels like the lawyers, they weren't going to help him. They were really only there to help Sabrina and all this other stuff. But then he kind of circles back and says, yeah, well, maybe the lawyers can help me now. And I'm just like, what? Make it make sense, please. So, of course, Maurice feels like, he did this to Sabrina. So this is the only way that he knows how to pay her back, is to basically take the rap for it. Say that he was the one who was behind it. And according to Sabrina, she talked to the lawyer. And basically the lawyer said that this was a bad idea for him to do this. And I'm just like, yeah, of course. Now, for Maurice, he feels like whatever is done is done. And Sabrina's like, okay, well, when are you going to turn yourself in? Because the lawyer can go with you. But, of course, Maurice doesn't want that either. He just wants to basically go down there in peace, do his time in jail, and let Sabrina get back to her life. That's pretty much it. Now, he decides to walk away because he about to go put some clothes on so that way he can prepare himself before he has to, turn himself in. And she's like, oh my gosh, there's nothing that we can do, huh? Girl, no, it's not. All you can do right now is say, you know what? Thank God Maurice is doing this so I don't have to go to jail. Now, of course, she really does not like Q. But all I want to say is this, Tyler, this better be the last season that we see Q. Like, seriously, I don't need to see Q anymore on this show. Season 7, his character needs to be gone. But let's go ahead and move on. Alright, so we actually get to Karen's shop. And we see Aaron, we see Pam, who looks really good, might I add, even though she has on this white suit. And we also see, I guess, a couple of the clients who came to help clean up the shop or whatever. And Pam is like, I hate this white outfit. Do you see that it makes me look like a little snowman? And I was like, not a little snowman, girl. Like, do you think you look like Olaf right now? So, one thing that annoyed me was the fact that Aaron tried to tell Pam to go take something to the dumpster. And I'm just like, you're a man. Go take that to the dumpster yourself. Why are you telling Pam to do that? Pam is like, I ain't about to do that because I'm about to go supervise. So, next thing you know, Zach shows up. And he's like, oh, look at y'all looking like two snowmen. And here goes Pam. And look at you looking like an insurance man. I had to laugh at that because, honestly, why is Zach walking around with these suits on? So, basically, he was there to drop off a check, right? So, he then looks at Aaron and is like, well, if Karen ever needs more, tell her to hit me. Sir, she don't need to hit you for nothing else. Like, come on now. You just got back in good with your girl. Slow your roll. And also, on top of that, how much money are you going to consistently give to Karen? You gave her $70,000 last time. Now you're giving her some more money. Stop giving your money to Karen. How about you go ahead and take your money and you go spend it on your child, Michael, who has needs that need to be met? How about you go find him some teachers and go find him some people that can assist him? How about that? Go find your son a specialist and pay for that out of pocket. Oh, but we don't want to have that conversation. Nonetheless, Zach ends up leaving. Of course, you have Aaron feeling a little salty because once Zach left, he was like, Pam, can't you just finish helping clean up? And I'm just like, she already told you she ain't taking them back to the trash can. Why do you keep feeling like you can boss her around? All right, y'all, let's go ahead and move on because we have Andy at the office. We see her in the green version of Sabrina's outfit. Sabrina had on the orange suit. Now she has on the green. Y'all, why do we see Gary and Hayden together? I feel like we've had enough of them. Okay? So, she's like, oh, hey, to Gary or whatever. And he's like, oh, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm about to go to a meeting or whatever. Now, I don't know why she's so rattled and shaken by this man. But nonetheless, he's basically like, well, I think that you owe me an apology. Sir, this ain't the place or the time. Why are you rolling up on me at my job? So when Andy walks away, of course you have Hayden laughing because, basically she played in Gary's face yet again, not having a conversation with him and walking away. And he's like, why do you basically keep doing this? And Gary's like, that's my girl. That is not your girl, okay? Now he over here telling Hayden, because, that's my wife. Wife? Y'all didn't go through with that wedding. What are you talking about? So now we see that Hayden continues to check his phone because Tamara has left this man high and dry, okay? Now, out of nowhere, here comes Zach. I said, oh, Zach, you really making your rounds. Because he comes in the room, he shakes Gary's hand, and I'm just like, but I thought you didn't like Scary Gary. So why are you even entering this room? Also, it's crazy because now I'm wondering, how tall is DeVal, y'all? Because why does DeVal look shorter than Hayden? And I thought that Hayden was short. Honestly, Zach had no reason to go over there, but he just wanted to do it just to spite Hayden. And it was weird to me when Gary was like, what was that about? And I'm like, you already know that Zach and Hayden got issues. Why are we pretending like that's new news to you? So now we see why Zach is actually there. We see that he is going to meet with Fatima and the guy who's going to be his lawyer. So, first of all, Fatima and this man are cracking up about something. And here comes Zach and his jealousy. What's so funny in here? Because you already know, Fatima can't breathe too loud next to a man without Zach feeling some type of way. So, the man basically goes on to talk about how, it's going to be hard for you to get for you to get custody of this child because a lot of times the courts do not grant, full custody to the fathers. And on top of that, you've just recently, gotten the paternity test back saying that you are the father. So it's not like you have had years of, getting your son acclimated to you, being around your child. This is all new. Now, the lawyer says that, they can go ahead and give it a try and see if, Zach can get custody, right? All right, cool. However, this is where things get interesting for me because the lawyer said that y'all mentioned how there was a neighbor who supposedly called, Child Protective Services on your baby mama, and we have no record of that. AKA, Miss Mamas was lying, okay? She ain't called nobody about this child. Now, according to this man, maybe if she testifies or whatever against Zach's baby mama, then maybe we can get some progress on this. But he gonna call down to his homeboy who work for the children's welfare, whatever, and see what he can find out. And he's like, oh, did you guys get the woman's name or anything like that? And Zach's like, no. But then Fatima's like, oh, actually, I did. Fatima got this lady address as well as her name. And I'm just like, well, girl, when did you have time to do that? Because we saw you when you was down there. Did you, circle back in the neighborhood or something? I'm telling you, Fatima has more hours in a day than anybody else. Because she had time to go look at footage to make sure that Zach and Karen didn't do nothing. She had time to go get all this lady information. What is going on here? So the man, he ends up leaving or whatever. And you can tell that he probably has, checked out Fatima, thought that she was attractive, for sure. And Zach is definitely caught on, and he feeling away. But Fatima's like, don't worry about him. He's going to, be a great lawyer for this, blah, blah, blah. So Zach is like, well, we never talked about this. And she talked about what? And he says, about me getting custody. And she's like, oh, you mean full custody? I'm like, yeah, girl, you didn't realize that's what Zach was fighting for? Because I realized that when y'all went down there. Listen, me personally, I've already told y'all, do I think that Zach needs to get full custody of this child? Absolutely not. I don't. But I feel like Heather just does not have the proper knowledge or resources to do better for her child. She doesn't. How she talked about how she has to work or whatever, and then by the time she gets home, her sister leaves, and while she's sleeping, her son is basically there left alone. It's yeah, that's when she needs Zach to come in and take the child so that way she can get some sleep. I thought we was going to try to do some joint parenting stuff, but that's not what Zach is on. So like I said, Fatima, she thought that we was going to try to do some, let's let her, get herself together properly, adjust with having two parents involved with this child and all of that. Zach is no, I'm trying to get this child to live with us. Now, Fatima is I'm not ready. Hell, you're not ready to have a toddler in your life. not full time. And I agree. Even though Zach got all the time in the world to be around his child, because he ain't got no goddamn job. Like, honestly, in this moment, I kind of feel bad for Heather, because even though she had this baby and she didn't know what the hell she was doing, you know what I'm saying, and she definitely don't know what to do with a special needs child, it is kind of sad that they're just like, yeah, I guess we just gonna have to do it. We're just gonna have to take the baby. And I'm just like, so y'all think that it's just better completely if she has no involvement with her child? Damn. Okay. I don't even think they're going to give her weekend visits. Okay. So now they get into it or whatever, because basically Zach feels like Fatima always says that, you know, she's going to ride for him. She says yes to everything that he has going on. But when they get into the thick of things, she kind of backpedals. And I'm like, no, I feel like you tell her one thing and then the shit gets deeper and deeper and it causes more involvement for her. For example, you saying, hey, Fatima, I have a child in this world, but I'm going to be involved with my child. That's one thing. That means your ass is going to spend time with that child. And she may be around sometimes. You want to get full custody of a child, which now requires more responsibility on her. You see how that changes the perspective, Zachary? And for him to tell her, like, you always have a choice. It's like, okay, so are you telling me I'm choosing to either be with you, or because you decided to be a full-time daddy and I'm not ready for that, we need to go ahead and break up? Because honestly, that's the only two options here. Are we going to be together or are we not? Because I can't choose you and tell you I'm not ready to be, you know, a full-time stepmother. So I don't know what you're going to do with your child, because I'm not going to be raising them. Come on now, she ain't going to say that. So basically, these two come to an agreement. All right, cool. Next thing you know, Andy comes in, a.k.a. she's hiding from Gary because she told him a lie that she had a meeting and clearly she did not, or whatever. So here comes Andy, being typical Andy. Like, I want to catch up with what's going on in you guys' world. What's been going on? And Zach is like, you know, you was there last night. When I tell you I hollered, because for some reason I completely forgot that this is just the next day. And all those shenanigans at Karen's place had just occurred. Y'all, let's just go ahead and move on. So now we have, oh God, Sabrina, Calvin, and Maurice. So, Maurice is finally ready. He says that they called and said that they want him down at the police station. Fine. Now, Sabrina is adamant that they tell this man Michael to meet them there because he's supposed to be a lawyer. And I'm just like, do you see how crazy that looks if Sabrina actually goes down there with Maurice to go drop him off to do, you know, jail time? It looks a little crazy. I'm just saying, considering she ain't supposed to have nothing to do with this. So we get the same conversation of, we can't stop him, can we? Are you really going to do this, Maurice? We get that same conversation over and over again. And yeah, that was that scene. I just want to move the hell along. Honestly, considering this is the mid-season finale, I don't think we need to see Maurice no more. I liked him as a person. Tyler did not, you know, do his character the way that I thought that he should have. But at this point, I don't need to see Maurice no more. Don't need to see Q. Alright, so let's slide on over to the salon. You have Aaron and Pam still out there working. And next thing you know, Karen shows up. So basically, you know, Pam tells her, hey, Zach left this for you. He left a check, you know, so that way he can pay for the salon to get fixed. And she's like, oh, well, call him and give it back. I said, oh, now you want to give the money back? You should have tried to accept any type of money in the first place, number one. Number two, after all that hooping and hollering and fighting for him that you just did last night, now his money ain't good enough for you. So now she needs nothing from him, okay? She needs nothing from Zach. Oh, it's to the point where she even ripped up the check, y'all. I said, ooh, he must have really hurt your feelings last night when he walked out the door with Fatima and didn't choose you. So Karen, she decides to take it upon herself and call Zach herself. And we see him, of course, still in the room with the other ladies. And he ignores the phone call. But he kind of like slams the phone down. They like, yo, who was that? So she ends up calling back, and Fatima reaches for the phone. She sees that it's Karen calling, and she's like, answer the phone. He refuses, or whatever, and Fatima says it again, like, answer the phone. He didn't want to do it. So she answered the phone. She's like, hello? Oh, here comes Karen with the, oh, it's you. I said, here we go. She didn't even give you attitude on the other end of the line, girl. So Fatima's like, yeah, it's me. So here goes Karen. Well, the next time you come to my house, please know that I'm going to shoot you. And here goes Fatima. Well, you better have a fully loaded clip. I'm like, oh, whoa, what's all the gangster talk right now? So for some reason, here comes Karen. You a trifling ass bitch. And I'm like, whoa, what did she do that was trifling? Like, in all honesty, what has Fatima done that was trifling? Because the only person who's been trifling majority of the time is Karen's ass. So now Fatima's like, well, you already know where I'm at. I'm at the law office. Pull up then. Pull the fuck up. And Karen is like, I will. Don't try me. So now they go back and forth about how Karen needs to bring her ass up there. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Because Andy, you can't chime in and be like, Karen, get off this fucking phone playing like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you sitting right there and you are hearing how Karen talks to Fatima. Like, whose side you on in this situation, Andy? Considering that's your best friend. So Fatima is like, listen, you talking a good game, but you not really about that life, right? Because I'm about that life. Bring your ass down here and see what happens. I said, oh, okay. I don't know how we trying to get it popping at a lawyer's office, but okay, y'all. So Zach ends up, grabbing the phone or whatever. And Karen tells him how she tore up the check that he gave her and how he is playing house with that bitch and trying to make her crazy. I said, playing house? Ma'am, you already knew that this was his fiance. He proposed to her. Why are you acting like she's just like some new little girlfriend that he just picked up yesterday? Could you not? And also, trying to make you crazy? You've been crazy, okay? You've been crazy since Zach got money. Zach having money made you crazy because that's the only time that you wanted his ass. So now she tells Zach to leave her alone. She'll take care of this baby on her own. She got it. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's move forward because Karen has completely lost her fucking mind. Like, Zach is not being combative with her. Zach is definitely over Karen and her shenanigans. Hell, I think we all are. Like, out of nowhere, here we go circling back to, yeah, I'll come down there and I'll, F Fatima up, all this stuff. I'm like, Karen. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't think that Karen has a redeeming quality anymore. Like, we tried to feel bad for Karen. We tried to ride with Karen, give her some benefit of the doubt. There's no benefits anymore. We have reached all limitation and capacity. The lady has lost her mind. Like, are we about to witness an episode of Snapped? Even though she brought this all on herself? So I feel like now everybody can see firsthand that Karen's ass is crazy and she has spiraled completely out of control. Because, number one, you can see that Pam is taken by surprise. Aaron is trying to calm her down. Andy's sitting there, and it's like, now you see the way Karen treats Fatima out of nowhere or whatever. And look at even how she talking to Zach, and this man just gave her a check trying to help her ass. So, of course, in this whole situation, you have Aaron trying to stop Karen from leaving or whatever, trying to calm her down. And she's like, move. She walks away. And Pam is like, Aaron, you need to go stop her. Which I agree. I was 100% off Pam's side when she's like, Aaron, you need to go stop her. Aaron is a big-ass man, okay? He's very, built, stocky, you know what I'm saying? He ain't no skinny mini. Just pick her ass up. Just pick her ass up and go sit her down somewhere. Because Karen is out of control. So we jump back over to Zach, Fatima, and Andy, and Andy's over here trying to make excuses for Karen's behavior. And next thing you know, she's calling Andy. And Andy's like, oh, I'm going to step out and take this call. You going to take this call right here, baby. Now, Zach is like, don't do it. Don't answer the phone here. Because he don't want, Fatima to stir up any more stuff with Karen. Or should I say Karen stir up any more stuff with Fatima. So Andy ends up taking the call outside or whatever. And the first thing that Karen is yapping on the phone about, show him, Andy. Show him the email, Andy. Show him. And it's just like, so what is this, an email that says that he's the daddy? Okay, so what? Like, what else is going on? All because he your baby daddy, that still does not change the fact that you acting crazy. So next thing you know, Karen is like, you are basically Fatima's friend. You not my friend. All of this stuff. She gets off the phone with Andy. While Andy was over there trying to plead with her, like, where are you? I'll come to you. Not on Karen's watch. So now we got to have this conversation about this email, right? Because Fatima's like, listen, I overheard her on the phone mention something about an email. What's she talking about, Andy? So Andy's like, oh, I don't know. I'm going to call her back. All this foolishness. And Fatima's like, listen, I have access to all your emails. Let me just see what it is. So, she looks it up. And come to find out, Zach is the father of Karen's baby. And in that moment, I feel like Fatima realized that she has to deal with Karen's crazy ass for a very long time if she continues a relationship with Zach. So she does end up telling him, like, it's your baby. And he looks at the phone and reads the paperwork himself. Now, I just want to know, was this information that was forwarded from an actual doctor, or did Karen butcher the results? Because I don't know. Karen seemed like the type to butcher the results. I'm just saying. We've seen her act crazy. So we actually flash on over to Sabrina, Maurice, and Calvin. And Maurice turns himself in. She thinks that she needs to call Andy to see what they can do about it. Let's move on. So we jump back to Andy's office. And Karen is just walking around. I said, now hold the hell up. Every time we done seen this show, these people have to stop at the receptionist desk. And she got to call the person and tell them that this so-and-so is here. Why Karen just walking her ass on through the place like she know her way around this joint? Next thing you know, Andy runs up to her and is like, oh my gosh, what are you doing here? Now she says that she's here for a reason, right? Andy tries to take her in a different direction, but no, she's here for a reason. She reaches down in her purse because she has to get her get, right? Now, in the frame, you can see it's someone who's wearing the same color blue as Fatima, same blonde wig as Fatima, and we are to assume that Karen has shot Fatima. And the only thing that I kept thinking, y'all, was, now how you gonna sit on the phone with Zachary Taylor and talk about how, I'm going to take care of this baby myself? How? Girl, you're going to be in jail. Like, y'all had us worried about Sabrina going to jail. It should have been us worried about Karen's ass. Now, do I think that she actually shot Fatima? No. I think that may have been a dream. There's no way you're going to tell me that this woman walked into a law office and shot Fatima. There's no way you're going to tell me that. I'm not believing it. Nope. Because if she did choose to shoot Fatima, I need for her to go to jail ASAP and be in there for the rest of the series. Because at this point, there's no redeeming qualities about Karen. She's completely went off the deep end. She has sat up here and tried to blame Zach for things that he hasn't even done to her. He has not gaslit her and all these other things. A lot of this was a figment of her own goddamn imagination. And I am sick and tired of Karen. Now, I don't want to make this video too long, but y'all, I will see y'all in my next Sistas review whenever the show comes back. Let me know y'all thoughts. Do y'all think that she actually shot Fatima? Hell, are y'all team Karen or team Fatima? Let me know y'all thoughts. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.